latent mythical elements are not so prominent in Exodus as in Genesis, ancient legends may have an influence on the book's form or content. For example, the story of the infant Moses' salvation from the Nile is argued to be based on an earlier legend of King Sargon of Akkad, while the story of the parting of Red Sea may trade on Mesopotamian creation mythology. Similarly, the Covenant Code, the Law Code in Exodus 20:22-23:33, has some similarities in both content and structure with the laws of Hammurabi. These potential influences serve to reinforce the conclusion that the Book of Exodus originated in the exiled Jewish community of 6th century BCE Babylon, but not all the potential sources are Mesopotamian. The history of Moses' flight to Midian following the murder of the Egyptian overseer may draw on the Egyptian story of Sinuhe. 28. Textual witnesses. Themes. Departure of the Israelites by David Roberts, 1829. Salvation. Biblical scholars describe the Bible's theologically motivated history writing as salvation history, meaning a history of God's saving actions that give identity to Israel, the promise of offspring and land to ancestors, the Exodus from Egypt, in which God saves Israel from slavery, the wilderness wandering, the revelation at Sinai, and the hope for the future life in the promised land. 29. Theophany. A theophany is a manifestation, appearance, of a god in the Bible, an appearance of the God of Israel accompanied by storms. The earth trembles, the mountains quake, the heavens pour rain, thunder peals and lightning flashes. 30. The theophany in Exodus begins the third day from their arrival at Sinai in chapter 19. Yahweh and the people meet at the mountain. God appears in the storm and converses with Moses, giving him the 10 Commandments while the people listen. The theophany is therefore a public experience of divine law. 31. The second half of Exodus marks the point at which, and describes the process through which, God's theophany becomes a permanent presence for Israel via the tabernacle. That so much of the book, chapters 25:31, 35:40, describes the plans of the tabernacle demonstrates the importance it played in the perception of Second Temple Judaism at the time of the text's redaction by the priestly writers. The tabernacle is the place where God is physically present, where, through the priesthood, Israel could be in direct, literal communion with him. 32. Covenant. The heart of Exodus is the Sinaitic covenant. 33. A covenant is a legal document binding two parties to take on certain obligations towards each other. 34. There are several covenants in the Bible, and in each case they exhibit at least some of the elements in real-life treaties of the ancient Middle East. A preamble, historical prologue, stipulations, deposition and reading, list of witnesses, blessings and curses, and ratification by animal sacrifice. 35. Biblical covenants, in contrast to Eastern covenants in general, are between a God, Yahweh, and a people, Israel, instead of between a strong ruler and a weaker vassal. 36. Election of Israel. Crossing of the Red Sea. Nicholas Pessin. God elects Israel for salvation because the sons of Israel are the firstborn son of the God of Israel, descended through Shem and Abraham to the chosen line of Jacob, whose name is changed to Israel. The goal of the divine plan in Exodus is a return to humanity's state in Eden, so that God can dwell with Israelites as he had with Adam and Eve through the Ark and Tabernacle, which together form a model of universe. In later Abrahamic religions, Israel becomes the guardian of God's plan for humanity, to bring God's creation blessing to mankind begun in Adam. 37. Judaism's weekly Torah portions in the Book of Exodus. Moses with the 10 Commandments, by Rembrandt, 1659. List of Torah portions in the Book of Exodus at Smiley 38. Shmo, on Exodus 1:5. Affliction in Egypt. Discovery of baby Moses, Pharaoh. Valera, on Exodus 6:9. plagues 1 to 7 of Egypt. O. On Exodus 10:13, last plagues of Egypt, first Passover. Bashalak, on Exodus 13:17, parting the sea, water, manna Amalek. Yitro, on Exodus 18:20, Jethro's advice, the Ten Commandments. Mishpatim, on Exodus 21:24, the Covenant Code. Terumah, on Exodus 25:27, God's instructions on the tabernacle and furnishings. Tetzaveh, on Exodus 27:30, God's instructions on the first priests. Kitisa, on Exodus 30:34, census, anointing oil, golden calf stone tablets, Moses radiant. Vayakho, on Exodus 35:38, Israelites collect gifts, make the tabernacle and furnishings. Pekudah, on Exodus 38:40, setting up and filling of the tabernacle. See also Bible Portal film adaptations of the Book of Exodus. History of the Jews in Ancient Egypt. Kitv Hinnom. Song of the Sea. References. Citations. Johnston 2003, p. 72.